95% of authors are tracking the wrong metrics. They're watching follower counts climb while their book sales stay flat. They're celebrating engagement rates that don't translate to purchases. And they're making marketing decisions based on data that has almost nothing to do with whether readers actually buy their books. The research shows that successful authors track completely different numbers than struggling authors. And the difference isn't just what they measure, it's understanding which metrics actually predict sales and which ones just make you feel busy. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by analytics dashboards or wondered why your marketing efforts aren't translating to book sales, you're not alone. Most authors are drowning in data but starving for insights. The publishing industry has given us access to more reader behavior data than ever before, but almost no guidance on what any of it means or how to use it effectively. Today, we're breaking down the exact metrics that successful authors track, how to interpret the data you're already collecting, and most importantly, how to turn those numbers into actionable marketing decisions that actually move books. And if you find this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We analyze what actually works in publishing every week, cutting through the noise to find the strategies backed by real data. Here's the fundamental problem with most author analytics. The numbers that are easiest to track are almost never the numbers that matter. Social media followers, post likes, website visitors, these are what the industry calls vanity metrics. They feel good, they're easy to report, but they have almost zero correlation with actual book sales. Research across thousands of author careers shows that you can have 50,000 Instagram followers and sell fewer books than an author with 500 email subscribers. The difference is engagement depth versus engagement breadth. Successful authors focus on what researchers call the conversion path. Every reader who eventually buys your book goes through a series of touch points. They discover you exist. They engage with your content. They join your ecosystem, usually through an email list. They develop enough trust and interest to make a purchase. And ideally, they come back for your next book. The metrics that matter are the ones that track this journey. Not how many people saw your post, but how many people moved from awareness to interest to purchase. Here's what this looks like in practice. One romance author analyzed her data and discovered something surprising. Her Facebook posts got 10 times more likes than her newsletter sign-up page got clicks. But when she tracked where her actual sales came from, 90% came from email subscribers and only 5% from social media. She was spending 80% of her marketing time on the platform that drove 5% of her revenue. Once she saw the real numbers, she flipped her strategy. She cut her social media time by half, doubled down on growing her email list, and her sales increased by 40% within 3 months. Same amount of total marketing effort, completely different allocation based on data that actually predicted purchases. And this is where smart authors use tools that connect the entire journey. A fantasy author prints QR codes in his books that track exactly how readers discovered him, what content they engaged with, and when they purchased his next book. He uses a platform like Mints that provides analytics on every touchpoint. He can see which promotional campaigns drive the most engaged readers, which partnerships convert best, and which marketing channels are worth his time. Instead of guessing what works, he has data showing the complete path from first contact to loyal reader. After analyzing data from thousands of author careers, researchers have identified 5 core metrics that consistently predict long-term success, not dozens of data points, not complex dashboards. 5 numbers that tell you almost everything you need to know about the health of your author business. First is email list growth rate and engagement. Not the total size of your list, but how fast it's growing and what percentage of subscribers actually open and click your emails. The benchmark data shows that authors with lists growing at least 10% per quarter and maintaining 30% or higher open rates consistently outsell authors with larger but stagnant lists. Your email list is the only marketing channel you truly own, and its health is the single best predictor of your ability to launch new books successfully. Second is reader lifetime value. This is the total revenue you generate from each reader across all your books. If your average reader buys 3 of your books at $10 each, your reader lifetime value is $30. Once you know this number, every marketing decision becomes clearer. If each reader is worth $30 to you over time, you can afford to spend up to $20 to acquire them and still be profitable. Most authors have no idea what this number is, so they have no framework for deciding whether a marketing investment makes sense. Third is conversion rate at each stage of your reader journey. What percentage of website visitors join your email list? What percentage of email subscribers buy your book? What percentage of first book readers buy your second book? These conversion rates tell you exactly where you're losing potential readers. Maybe you're great at driving traffic but terrible at converting visitors to subscribers. Or maybe you convert subscribers to buyers efficiently, but you're not getting enough people to your website in the first place. You can't fix what you can't measure. Fourth is cost per acquisition by channel. How much does it cost you, in both money and time, to acquire one new reader from each marketing channel? Facebook ads might cost you $15 per new email subscriber. Guest podcast appearances might cost you 2 hours of time per 20 new subscribers. Collaborative promotions with other authors might be essentially free, but bring in 100 subscribers. Once you track cost per acquisition, you can make rational decisions about where to invest your limited resources. The fifth metric is what researchers call retention rate. Of the readers who buy your first book, what percentage buy your second? Your third? For series authors, this is the most important number you can track. If only 10% of readers continue to the next book, you have a quality or marketing problem. If 70% continue, you've built something sustainable. The difference between these scenarios is the difference between constantly hustling for new readers and building a career that compounds over time. Knowing what to track is only half the battle. The other half is setting up systems that actually give you these insights without consuming your entire life. The authors who succeed with analytics aren't the ones with the most complex dashboards. They're the ones with simple, sustainable systems that answer specific questions. Start with what researchers call the weekly pulse check. Pick one day a week, set a timer for 15 minutes, and review 5 numbers. Email list size and last week's growth rate. Open rate on your most recent email. Sales from the past 7 days. Traffic to your key landing pages. And one rotating metric like social media referrals or ad performance. That's it. 15 minutes a week gives you enough data to spot trends without drowning in minutia. One mystery author does this every Monday morning with her coffee. She's been tracking these 5 numbers for 2 years, and she can tell you exactly how her reader ecosystem responds to different types of content, what time of year drives the most sales, and which promotional strategies actually work for her genre. The second system is campaign-specific tracking. Whenever you run a promotion, launch a book, or try a new marketing channel, set up dedicated tracking for just that initiative. Use unique landing pages, dedicated QR codes, or specific discount codes so you can measure results in isolation. A thriller author launched his latest book with 5 different promotional strategies simultaneously. Because he used unique tracking links for each one, he could see that his newsletter swap with another author drove 3 times more sales than his Facebook ads, at 1/10 the cost. Without isolated tracking, he would have just seen overall sales numbers and assumed everything contributed equally. And this is where professional tools make a real difference. Authors who treat their career as a business use platforms that provide comprehensive tracking across all their promotional materials. Min's, for example, lets authors create dynamic QR codes with built-in analytics. You can see exactly which codes drive the most traffic, which campaigns convert best, and where your readers are coming from. One promotional bookmark with an updatable QR code can track reader behavior across years, showing you seasonal patterns and long-term trends. The same physical item in thousands of books, but the analytics update in real time, showing you what's working right now. The key insight is that analytics should drive action, not paralysis. Every time you review your data, ask one question. What is this telling me to do differently? If your email open rates are declining, maybe your subject lines need work or you're emailing too frequently. If your website traffic is high but email sign-up rate is low, your lead magnet probably isn't compelling enough. If Facebook ads aren't converting but Amazon ads are, shift your budget accordingly. Data without decisions is just numbers. Decisions informed by data are what separate authors building sustainable careers from authors throwing spaghetti at the wall. The fundamental shift in successful author analytics isn't collecting more data, it's tracking fewer metrics that actually predict reader behavior and book sales. Focus on email list growth and engagement, reader lifetime value, conversion rates at each stage, cost per acquisition by channel, and reader retention rates. These 5 numbers will tell you more about the health of your author business than 100 vanity metrics ever could. If you're ready to implement this, start with 3 actions this week. First, set up your weekly pulse check. Pick 5 numbers and commit to reviewing them for 15 minutes every week. Second, calculate your reader lifetime value. Look at your sales data and figure out how much the average reader spends with you over time. Third, audit your current marketing activities and ask honestly, am I tracking whether these actually drive book sales, or am I just tracking activity? If you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We put out new content every week analyzing what actually works in publishing. Drop a comment below. What's one metric you've been tracking that you now realize might be a vanity metric? I'm curious what data people are focusing on. And if you're serious about building a data-driven author career, check out Mins. It's a professional platform designed specifically for authors who want comprehensive tracking across all their promotional materials. Dynamic QR codes that update without reprinting, analytics that show your complete reader journey, and tools that connect your print and digital marketing in one system. There's a free trial link in the description. The authors who win in today's market aren't the ones with the most data. They're the ones who track the right data and actually use it to make better decisions. Start measuring what matters, and your marketing stops being guesswork and starts being strategy.